Hey guys, how you doing tonight? We are getting Instagram hooked up live here. All right, Instagram is a go. So we are starting a couple minutes ahead of schedule. Got a lot that we're going to be going over tonight. I know I had said that this was going to be 2017 to 2024. I don't think we are going to have time to get all the way through that. So I think we will probably end maybe with 2020 or 2019. We'll see how much interaction we get and how long this takes me to get going here. So welcome into the stream. If you get in late, you'll get caught up. You'll notice some of the cards that I picked are majority of them are rookie cards. There are a few that are not rookie cards. Hey, Joel, what's up? Thanks for joining. So some are rookie cards, some are not. You will notice I went through several hundred different plays of each year, and I only picked the ones that I thought had the best chance to make money and the lowest risk to lose money. So my goal was to at most lose your eBay fees if it gets a PSA 9, and minimum double your money if it gets a PSA 10. So that was kind of the parameters. That's how I narrowed it down. And even doing that, I have a lot of cards. 2018 and 2020 are packed. 2017 and 2019 do not have a lot that meet that criteria. So without further ado, let's jump right in and get going. The first card we are going to talk about is the Jayson Tatum. Let me see if I can get, let's see, here we go. Why is this not showing up on my screen? All right, technical difficulties with the first one. This is why we do this. There we go. All right, so this is the Jayson Tatum, Donruss. This is the rookies, card number 3. Raw, the most recent sale was $13.75, so I rounded up to $14. Add your $20 in grading fees, so you're at $34 with grading and shipping to get it graded. There have been 132 sales, as you can see, in the last year, and the average sale price is just under $15. So even if we use the average, say $15, add $20, you're at $35. A PSA 9 sells for $50. So you're not only going to break even, you're going to turn a couple bucks after eBay fees. A PSA 10 sells for $68, which is not a lot more than the PSA 9, but it has a 74% gem rate, being a non-chromium card. It has a little bit higher gem rate, and this is a card that in a PSA 10, even though it's $68 now, as it was leading up to the NBA Finals, the card was in excess of $100. So I anticipate this card is going to jump around a little bit as the season comes back. So this is the first play. All right, we'll get rid of that one. And we will move to the next one. Next one up on the list is Lauri Markkanen, 2017 Silver Prism. Last year, he had a good year. Of course, they didn't make the playoffs, so his cards didn't spike like they did the year before. They're kind of retooling again this year. He's always in a conversation for trade talks, but it is a Silver Prism, so I do like this play. Raw, most recent sale was $15. The 1 year average, as you can see, is 1256. And there have been 33 sales in the last, in the last year. So 33 sales in the last year. I'm going to take the higher of the two to be conservative. So $15 plus 20 is $35. A PSA 9 sells for $40. So you're going to wash even after eBay fees on this card. 65% chance of a PSA 9. PSA 10 is a 30% chance. However, it jumps up to $115. So when there's a risk, the 9 gets you even. It's worth a risk when you can 4x your money to $115. So that's why this card is on the list. And it's a Prism Silver of Lauri Markkanen. So it's a good card to have regardless. But we will move on to the next one. Next card up is, they go in a different order than what I have, so I always have to look here, guys. All right, this is the Jayson Tatum Optic Rookie Kings. This card is only $13, $12.50 in the most recent. It's had 160 sales in the last year, and the average is $14. So we'll round up and say $15 plus your $20. So you got $35 invested. A PSA 9 last sold for $37. So you'll be out your eBay fees. This is about the bare minimum of what I'm looking for floor. However, in a PSA 10, it's $96. So you're going to do a little bit 2.5, almost 3x your money on a PSA 10. And it does have a 57% gem rate. So very high gem rate with very low risk. I like this play. I do think Tatum cards will continue to be prevalent moving into this next year. Hey, welcome in, Bodini. Bodini's Cards and Comics. Appreciate you guys joining. Gemini Cardboards joining. Colonial Sports is joining. Welcome in, guys. We are, I believe, on the 4th or 5th card of the night. We are starting with 2017 and working our way forward. We're going to see how far we can get. There are a lot of 2018, so I'm going to try and keep this to around an hour so you guys don't get too bored. I know everybody's got stuff to do on a Saturday night. So we will wrap this up around an hour. So we're probably not going to get to 2023 or 4. My guess is we'll get to 2019 or 20. All right. So next card up on the list. This is the last card. So this is the 4th card. It's the last card for 2017. So we had 2 Jayson Tatums and a Lauri Markkanen. This is Prism Fast Break. Card number 117, Donovan Mitchell. He just got the big contract. I was hoping he was going to get traded to the Knicks because that would have really helped his card prices. As it stands, he got the big contract. So now it's going to be performance-based for him to move the needle because the big contract didn't do much for his card prices. But we don't care. In the plays that we do here, we don't care because performance is not taken into account in these plays. So $30 is the most recent sale. When you look at the 1 year average, the 1 year average was only $22. So it has spiked up a little bit with his big contract. And now the last sale started to dip back down. So I think this will come back down closer to that $20 to $25 range as we get further and further away from his signing. The news is gone. So I think you're going to see that card return to normal. But anyways, PSA 9. So you're at $30, $20 for grading. You're at $50. A PSA 9 sells for $67. So you're a few dollars to the good, 55% chance. In a PSA 10, it jumps up to $150. So you're going to 3x your money at a 39% clip or get a little bit of a profit at a PSA 9. So I really like this play. Hey, welcome in, Brad. Thanks for doing it. You are welcome. I enjoy doing this. We just finished up the 2017s. There were only 4 cards in 2017. I take that back. There's going to be a fifth. There's going to be a fifth one here. Let's go to the fifth one. But I started out by saying that this is, I only, out of about 400 cards that I looked at and ran numbers on, there's anywhere from probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 on the low side to I think there's maybe 15 2018s. I tried to make it so that the bottom on a PSA 9 was you lost your eBay fees, and the minimum on the high side was that you doubled your money on a PSA 10. So that's how I narrowed it down to these cards. At the end, I'm sure there's going to be some surprises. Like you thought there would be more Tyrese Maxey because I'm a huge Maxey fan. I don't think there's a single Maxey card in here, if I remember correctly. You're going to say you thought there should be more Shea Gilgeous. There's only 1 or 2 Sheas. I went specifically on the cards that are going to give you guys the maximum return on investment. The lowest floors with the highest ceilings, that is the plays that we are after here. So let's move on to the next one. This should be the 5th and final. This is another Jason Tatum card. This is a 2017. This is his Optic Hollow. I was really high on this card last year. I actually doubled my money on this card during the playoffs. I am out of this card right now, and I am looking to get back in. I don't know if I'm going to buy a PSA 10. Last year, I bought one graded, held it for the whole season, and doubled my money in the playoffs. I'm not sure. I think I might do the raw to grade this time and see if I can't increase my profit margin with the raw to grade. But as you can see, $75 was the most recent sale. However, the 1-year average is $107. So we're always going to take the higher of the two to be as conservative as we can. So $107 plus $20 is $127. The most recent PSA 9 sold for $121. So you are out, again, roughly your eBay fees if it gets a PSA 9, and that's about a 40% clip. However, if this card gets a PSA 10, the PSA 10 is about the lowest it's been in 6 months, maybe. It's down to 242 right now. It may even fall a little bit further before it starts to climb back up. But if you can buy in around that $75 to $100 range, I think you'll be fine. PSA 10, $242. It does gem at a 55% clip. So this is a card that has a fairly good gem rate, and they are not that hard to find. And there are still a lot of, if you don't want to risk going to eBay, I bought a lot of the 2017 mega boxes. You can get those for around $150, and you'll probably end up with some Tatums, some Mitchells, you'll end up with a nice, those are really good boxes for the money. I have yet, knock on wood, to lose money on a 2017 mega box basketball. I've been able to at least break even or make money on every single box, and I've probably ripped 30 to 40 of them over the years. I've got 5 of them sitting in the safe right now, and every now and then I'll pull one out. I bought 2 more at Christmas time because they had specials at Dave and Adams. But watch those. Those are boxes that really, if you like rip and wax, those are boxes that you can really get some good return on investment if you hit a good card. So that is 2017. Welcome in. Lefty McKee has joined the live stream on Instagram. Hey, welcome in, Lefty. Welcome in, Smalls Carden. We are moving on to 2018 now. So 2018, the first card up will be Jalen Brunson base. So 2018, this is a really cheap card to get into. As you can see, the most recent sale was $3.50. The 1 year average is only $4.31. So let's round up to $5 and add your $20 grading fee. We'll call it $25 to get this card graded. PSA 9 most recent sale was $26. So again, on a PSA 9, you're basically out your eBay fees, which is a very low entry point, 38% on PSA 9s. This has a good gem rate. PSA 10, 55% gem rate. This card is not a huge money maker, but I put it on the list because it's very liquid. A PSA 10 is most recent sales $50. So you can double your money on a PSA 10. You're going to lose your eBay fees on a PSA 9. The reason I put this on the list is not only is it a liquid card, this card during the season last year when the Knicks made their run got all the way up to $120. So $50 is a pretty low entry point. Even if you wanted to skip buying raw and just buy the PSA 10 for $50, that might not be a bad play either. Brunson is going to be hot again this year. As long as he can stay healthy, his cards are going to jump again this year. The Knicks are going to be very good. They've made some good plays, and Brunson's going to be hot. All right, moving on to the next one. Next one up is, I wish these had gone in order so I could tell you what was coming before I shared it, but here we go. The next one up is a 2018. This is not a rookie card, guys. This is a 2018 Prism red, white, and blue Kobe Bryant card number 15. Most recent sale was $15. The 1 year average is $23. So let's use the average, the higher of the two, $23 plus $20. You're looking at let's call it $44, $45 to get this card back. PSA 9 most recent sale was $46. So again, the low side, you're out your eBay fees, but that's only 35% because this card has a good gem rate. On a PSA 10, it has a gem rate of 60.3%, and a PSA 10 is selling for $95. So again, 2.5, almost 3 times your money at a 60% clip on a very nice red, white, and blue Kobe Bryant. I think the red, white, and blue Kobe Bryant cards are going to be popular during the Olympics. Typically, the red, white, and blue cards do very well during the Olympics of all of your top players. Now, Kobe, of course, has passed away, but a red, white, and blue of any of the players, LeBron or Ant-Man or any of those that are playing on the Olympic team, those typically sell well because they're very patriotic. So, all right. Next one up. Let's take a look at the next card up. Next card up should be a Luka Doncic hoops card if this is going in order. And it is. So, all right, next card up. 2018 NBA hoops 268 Luka Doncic. This card most recently sold for $19.75. The 1 year average is $25, so that's what we're going to use. $25 plus the $20 is roughly $45. We'll call it $46 to be conservative. The PSA 9's most recent sale was $56. So after eBay fees, it's a break even. Maybe you turn $1 or $2 profit, but it is for sure a break even on a PSA 9. PSA 10 is $95. So again, this is a minimum 2x your money on a PSA 10, and it has a 56% gem rate. So this card is a very good investment. Now, I'm going to be throwing a lot of these plays at you guys here tonight. Like I said, there's probably going to be 25 of them, and I do not expect you guys to go out and buy every single one of these. I give you a lot of variety so you can pick and choose the players you want. It may be based on the cards you can find, but I want to make sure that everybody realizes this is not, you don't have to go out and buy all of these. Just pick and choose what you like. I give you plenty of variety. So next card up on the list is 2018. This is one of the very few Shea cards that made the list. 2018 Shea Gilgeous Alexander SGA. It's the Mosaic, but in 18 Mosaic was part of Prism. It was not its own set. So this is a parallel. It's a 2018 Prism Mosaic base. The most recent sale was $23.50, as you can see. The 1 year average on this card is $38.33. So let's say $39 plus $20. You're at $59. The PSA 9 most recently sold for $59. So again, the floor is a PSA 9. You lose your eBay fees. A PSA 10, you double your money. PSA 10 is $93, most recent sale. And again, it has a very good gem rate. This has a 63.6% gem rate. So when you are talking about taking a risk of maybe losing your eBay fees to doubling or tripling your money, that is a very small price to pay and very low risk, which is why I can recommend these plays. Joel chimes in. You mean you don't need to buy 75 of each to turn a profit? No, you can buy one or two or five or whatever you want to do. So no, you don't have to buy a whole bunch of these. You can mix and match and do whatever you want. All right, next card up. As we're switching sheets here, let's see what the next one up is. We will go to the 2018 Jalen Brunson Red Ice. This is a really pretty card, and you're going to hear Jalen Brunson's name several times. I am super high on Jalen Brunson. I know that his card spiked last year, but when you look at the value of where his cards are at right now in comparison to everybody else's, if you're looking for the card or cards that might be this year's next big thing, I think you can't look past Jalen Brunson cards. His cards are due for, they kind of plateaued. I think they're due for another spike this year to give him the due that he is due. All right, last sale, $35. The 1 year average is $26. So as you can see, with some of the moves the Knicks have been making, his cards are already starting to level up, which is very unusual for a basketball card this time of year. But let's use the current price of $35. $35 is plus $20, you're at $55. The PSA 9 most recently sold for $55. So again, the floor is your eBay fees. However, if you can get a PSA 10, this is one where it really counts. The most recent PSA 10 was $203. So this is a nice 4x your investment. It is only a 28% gem rate compared to 64% on the PSA 9. But when you are talking about risking your eBay fees on a PSA 9 versus 4xing your money on a 10, and you got a 28% chance, if you can find it, buy 4 of them, and one of them should gem, in theory. Of course, that's not always the way it works, but if you find 4 nice copies, you got a good shot there with that type of gem rate. And 4xing your money is a very nice way to go. All righty. Next up is, if I'm going too fast, guys, tell me. I'm just trying to get through as many of these as we can tonight. All right. Next up is the Mikal Bridges. This is the only Mikal Bridges card that made the cut tonight. This is also the only rookie ticket auto. Now, when I said at the beginning of this that I ran several hundred cards preparing for this for you guys, I looked at every basketball release for every year. So it was easier in 2017 and 18. In 2019, they about doubled the amount of basketball releases. As it gets to 2021, 2022, 2023, there are getting to be so many releases that it's getting more and more difficult to do. But if you're wondering why there's only one rookie ticket auto on here tonight, it is because this is the only one that gives you the floor versus the ceiling that I am looking for. This is his optic rookie ticket auto. They call it the looking left. So he's looking left with his head. It's the on-card auto. It's the optic version. The most recent sale was $85. The 1 year average is $75. So we're going to use the $85 plus the $20. You're looking at $105. A PSA 9 most recent sale was $130. So you're going to turn about a $20 profit, $15 profit after eBay fees if it gets a 9, which is a 52% chance. PSA 10 is a little bit harder on this card. It's only an 18.4% gem rate. And there are no sales within the last year on this card on a PSA 10. So that tells me with him switching teams, he has a very good chance for his cards to go up. The PSA 10s are so rare. There's only 7. It's a pop 7. None have sold within the last year. If you can pop a PSA 10, you can set the market. You could 3, 4, 5x your money on this card because there is nothing to go off of for comps. And I love it when you can set your own comps. It makes life a lot easier. You don't have people arguing with you. Welcome in, Farrell. Welcome in, Packers. We are cruising through the 2018s right now. All right. Next up on the list is a silver prism Jalen Brunson. 2018 silver prism card number 250. Most recent sale was $50. The 1 year average is 42. And as you can see, again, this card is on its way, an upward trajectory. I think Brunson is going to continue to go up between now and the beginning of the season. So I would not wait for a dip. Let's use the $50 because it's higher. It's the higher of the two. So $50 plus the grading fee, you are looking at roughly what, $70. The most recent PSA 9 was $67. So again, you're out your eBay fees for a floor at a 55%. It does gem at 37.2%. So 1 out of 3 do gem. A PSA 10 is $315. So you can get a nice 4x your money if this card is does jump and does get a PSA 10. However, here's another card that I am going to recommend that if you don't want to take the risk of buying raw to grade, go out and buy this card in a PSA 10 for around that low $300 range. It doesn't have to be the $315. It can be, it can be $325. It can be $300. Whatever you can find this card for. Packers is saying Brunson is a stud. I agree. This card could and should, by the playoffs next year, be a $450 to $550 card. And if the Knicks get the right pieces and they make the finals next year, you could see this card blow up to $700, $800, $900, maybe $1,000. I don't know. It's not in 2018. The pop counts are not very high. A PSA 10 is only pop 492. So that when you have demand with that, that is when those cards really start jumping. All right, next card up. We're going to take a look at the Luka Doncic green prism. If you guys are following my Instagram, this was my pickup of the day yesterday. I picked one of these up. These are hard to find, a little bit harder to find. I jumped on one. I probably paid a little bit too much. I paid $300 for it. The centering isn't great. However, I might turn around and sell this, hang on to it and sell it raw at the beginning of the season, or I might grade it just to see what the centering does on these older prisms. But anyways, most recent sale was $292. My $300 sale didn't show up because I did pay cash for it at a local card shop. The 1 year average is $269, which tells me I probably paid a little bit too much for it. But again, like I said, the card doesn't come up for sale very often. I wanted it. I bought it. I'm a big boy. I knew what I was doing. If I lose money on it, it's my own fault. But I wanted the card, and sometimes you pay a little bit too much to get a card that you want. And this is a card that I've wanted for a while, so I bought it. If another one comes up in a nicer condition, I will probably snag that as well. Anyways, we're going to use the higher of the two, the 292, with a $20 fee. You're at 310. Let's call it 315. With the bulk submitting, you can go up to a $500 value. So you can slide this through a bulk submission. A PSA 9 is $375. So you're going to make roughly $50 after fees if you end up getting a 9, you're going to profit about $50. Sorry, I hesitated because I saw Packers asking how much does a PSA 9 go for. I think he was talking about the silver Brunson. And if you missed that, Packers, it was $67. So that's where I had mentioned you'd lose your eBay fees on a 9 on the Brunson. All right, so on the Luka Doncic green prism, you're going to make about $50 on a PSA 9, which is 41% chance. A PSA 10 jumps all the way up to $720. So you're going to almost triple your money on a PSA 10 if you can find one. This card actually gems well, 52.4%. So they are a little bit harder to find, but if you can find a well-centered one in good condition, you have a 50% chance of tripling your money. So I really like this card. I like the look of this card, and I like this play. Next one up, we're going to stick with Luka Doncic. We are going to go red, white, and blue. A lot of Luka's cards do make sense in the raw to grade. So red, white, and blue, card number 280 again. You're looking at $203 for the most recent sale. The 1 year average was $220. So $220 plus your grading fee, you're at $240. 240 PSA 9 most recent sale was $250. So you're going to essentially lose out on your eBay fees. Maybe not quite your whole fees because it's $250 versus $240. A PSA 10, however, again, it gems pretty well, 54% chance. So you got a 50-50 shot on this red, white, and blue of $550. So you're going to double your money on a PSA 10, and you got a 50-50 shot of doing that. Yes, I would agree, Packers. The red, white, and blue has a much better trend line. However, I really liked that green, which is why I went after it. It's a little bit more rare. And I think when you have rare cards, sometimes the trend lines do not follow the normal trends. So you can't get confused all the times. But more, if it's a real common card, yes, I agree. The red, white, and blue had a better trend line. All right, next up, we have another Shea card. This is the second and only other Shea card I have on the list. This is a hyper silver prism. So most recent sale was $61.08. The 1 year average is 83. Take 83 and 20, you're at 84. Let's call it $105. A PSA 9 sells for $115. So you're going to be out some of your eBay fees, not all of your eBay fees. There's a 74% chance that you're going to get a PSA 9. The reason I put this on, this has a very low gem rate. It's only a 5% gem rate, is because of with the 5% gem rate, if you can get a clean one, you can 7x your money. The most recent PSA 10 sale was $700. So very low risk in the fact that you're going to essentially break even, maybe lose $10 after fees on a 9, but you have a chance to 7x your money if you could be one of that 5%. That's the type of risk. If I'm going to take a risk, this is the type of risk I'm going to take. Very low bottom end, very large return on the high end. So that is about as risky as I get. But I wanted to show you that there is a huge upside to this card if you are feeling lucky or can find a nice clean one. All right, the next card up is going to be another Luka Doncic card. It is a little bit more pricey. I believe this might be the priciest card we have on the list tonight. This is his choice yellow, blue, and green choice. $525 is the most recent raw sale. There have only been 4 raw sales in the last year, so this is an extremely difficult card to find. The 1-year average is even higher than that. It's $631. But even at the 1-year average of $631 and paying the $75 grading fee to move up a level, you got $700 invested in this card. If you can find a nice one, a PSA 9 sells for $900. So after fees, you can pick up $100 on a PSA 9, 31% chance, and a PSA 10. Get this, guys, 59% gem rate on this card. So it's a hard card to find, but if you can find a good one, 59%. PSA 10 is $2,000. So even if you have to pay the 1-year average of that $630 and the grading fees of $75, you got $700 in it. You can triple your money all the way up to $2,000 at a 59% clip. So be on the lookout. This is a card I don't think I would trust buying off of eBay. This is a card that I would want to see in person. Look at local card shops. Look at card shows. If any of you are going to the National, try and maybe find this card in good raw condition at the National. I would not risk, as rare as this card is, paying $500 or $600 on eBay. Chances are whoever's selling it on eBay knows what they have. However, there are a lot of card shops that flip their inventory and they don't grade cards, especially at the National, where there's going to be millions upon millions of cards there. You might find a really nice one at the National, and even if you got to pay up for it, pay $650 because it looks really nice, or $700, just know that a PSA 9 is $900 and a PSA 10 is $2,000. So there is plenty of margin there for you if you can find a nice one in face-to-face proximity. All right, next card, 2018 Prism Pink Ice, card number 250, another Jalen Brunson card. No shock here. I told you there was going to be plenty of Jalen Brunson tonight. $33 is the most recent card sale. 1-year average is $27. So we're going to use the higher of the two. The most recent sale of $33 plus $20, you're at $53 for shipping and grading. There have been 119 sales, so this is a card that a lot of transactions. It's a little bit easier card to find and get. You got $53 in it. A PSA 9 is $56. So again, essentially out your eBay fees, 41% chance. A PSA 10, $257. So here's a chance to 5x your money. And it has a 51.4% gem rate. 50% chance to 5x your money. I really like this play. I really like Jalen Brunson. This is a card I will be acquiring here in the very near future. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Next one should be back to Luka Doncic with a Don Russ base card. This card is $40 at the most recent sale. The 1-year average is $42.69, so call it $43. 43 and 20 is $63. The PSA 9 most recently sold for $59. So you essentially are out your eBay fees if it gets a PSA 9. A PSA 10 is $100, so you're going to double your money. However, as you can see this card spiking up and down and up and down, the PSA 10 was up to $160 during the season. I expect the Mavericks to make another run this year. They're getting some nice pieces. I think that this card climbs from the $100 PSA 10 to $125 or more by the start of the season. So that is why this card is on the list. All you got to do is get the 10 to double your money, and by the time it comes back, this card might have climbed up even higher than that. So go get yourself some Luka Doncic base cards. All right, we are done with 2018. Let's tackle it. We're about 40 minutes in. Let's tackle 2019 and see if we can get to 2020 here yet. We'll leave 21 and newer for next week. All right. 2019, first card up is none other than Zion Williamson's Silver Prism. Now, somebody got an absolute steal here. $40 was the most recent sale, and the most recent one before that, if you look here, was $35. So the last two sales have been $35 and $40. The last before that, it was at 70. The 1 year average is 95. I don't care if I had to pay $100 for one of these, but $95 is the 1 year average. We'll use that $20 to grade it. So you're looking at $115 total investment. This card is going to climb this year. If Zion stays healthy, you heard me say that Brunson is one of the guys that I think is really going to jump his cards this year. Zion is another guy that I think is in the running for having a huge rebound in card prices this year. This card is iconic, really, for the 2019 during the COVID times. I think this card could and will double this season if he can stay healthy. But $40, $95, so we'll call it $115. A PSA 9, here is you will lose the most money on any card of the night. This is the card you would lose the most money. A PSA 9 was $93. If you have to pay the $95 1 year average, you're going to be out $20 plus your grading fees or your eBay fees. So you're going to be out about $35 if it gets a PSA 9. If it gets a PSA 10, a PSA 10 is $375. So almost 4xing your money. This is a card that if you needed to or wanted to just skip the grading process and go buy a PSA 10, this is another one that I could endorse. Paying that $350 to $375 and getting a nice PSA 10. I don't think this card, unless he gets hurt, which is a possibility, it's always a possibility with Zion. If he does not get hurt, this is the floor of this card. This card is going up from here. I don't see this card going back down. If he gets hurt, who knows how far down that card could fall. So it is a risk, but it's a risk I'm taking. I have not had a Zion Silver in about 2 years. I sold as they started the fall, and I am getting back into Zion this year. So I've recently spent about $3,000 buying PSA 10 Zion Williamson cards. So I have several of them. The only one that I don't have yet is the silver. So I'm going to get one of those yet, and then I'm going to sit on it until they jump this year, and then I should hopefully have some nice profit margins. All right. Next card up is 2019 Prism Green Kobe Bryant. Again, this is not a rookie card. It's a Kobe Bryant card. It's the green Prism. Most recent sale was $20. The 1 year average is 1690, so call it 17. $20 plus 20, you're going to have $40 invested in this card. A PSA 9 sells for $40. So again, out your eBay fees on a PSA 9. But a PSA 10 is $105. So a nice 2.5xing of your money. And it has a great 60.9% gem rate. So very good gem rate on a non-rookie card if you wanted to go after something a little bit different and not have to chase those rookies that everybody else is. Here's a nice Kobe Bryant card that you can make some money on. All right, next card in. Let's take a look here. We are going to be looking at a stained glass Luka Doncic. So here's another card that is not a rookie card. This is a second-year Luka Doncic card. It is the stained glass SSB. As you can see, the most recent sale was $125. The 1 year average is $138. There have only been 7 sales of this card in raw condition. So this is a true SSP. It's hard to find, but it's worth it if you can find it. A PSA 9 sells for $176. So even if you have to pay the $140 plus your grading fees, you are basically a bust even on a PSA 9, even after eBay fees. A PSA 10 sells for $288, and it has a 60% gem rate. So you can go get yourself a nice Luka card that is low population, hard to find, good gem rate, and you don't have to go after the rookie card. You can get a nice insert stained glass card, and those cards sell very, very well. All right, we are buzzing right through here, guys. All right, next up is none other than my boy Ja Morant. I absolutely love Ja Morant. Ja Morant is electric. 2 most electric players in the NBA right now might be Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant. So I've said Brunson cards should and could take a huge spike this year. I've said it about Zion. I'm also saying it about Ja. Those are my 3 picks for this year's spike in prices. I've got a few flyers, but for ones that are a little bit closer to center, who could be this year's, maybe Anthony Edwards. I think you got Ja, you got Brunson, and you got Zion. Those are my 3 best picks for 2 or 3 or 4 Xing in value if they perform this year. I have 3 of these silver prisms that I bought. I bought them in PSA 10, and I bought them kind of during the low spot after he got injured. I believe I paid right around $350 a piece, $350 to $375 for the 3 that I have. They've gone up quite a bit since then. He is back practicing and on a court. He is on schedule to return to the NBA this year. So watch out for Ja Morant. $131 most recent sale. 1 year average is 97. That is because he is starting to trend upwards. Don't try and hold out for that 1 year average. You probably aren't going to find one. And if you do, it may not be a very good copy. Spend around $125, $130, get a nice copy, and get it sent in. So $130 plus your eBay fees or your grading fees, so you're at $150. A PSA 9 does sell for $150. So you are out your eBay fees on a PSA 9. A PSA 10, however, is $525. So it is a nice 3.5xing of your money. It does have a 33% gem rate. So 1 out of 3 will gem. This is not a card at $525. That is a large investment. I believe that you will make money if you want to go out and buy the card at $525. However, I would not be spending $525 on the card. I would be trying to go the raw to grade route. If I had $500, there are cards I like better than that and less risky to go and get some return on investment. Matter of fact, there are some on this list here today that we've talked about that you could spend $500 and get a better, quicker return. Go out, and if you want to spend the $500, go buy 3 of these in raw condition, 33% gem rate. One of them is going to gem. The other 2 are going to be your profit. So that is my Ja Morant story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, moving on. Next card up is Anthony Edwards. We are into 2020, guys. I'm going to stop when we get to the end of 2020. It should be somewhere right around an hour in when we get done here. But let's take a look at this. That was a 30-day chart. So here we go. 2020, a couple of these will be duplicates. About a month or so ago, I talked about several Anthony Edwards cards that I liked. Some of these are going to be duplicates. They are still good buys. I've bought quite a few Anthony Edwards cards in the last month. They're sitting at PSA waiting to come back. Anthony Edwards is a very nice player that you can go make yourself some money on, especially in the raw to grade. So as you can see, this blue Prism Premier level card, most recent sale was $6.50. The 1-year average $13.72. So $14 plus the $20 grading fee is $34. The PSA 9 is $36. So again, the floor, your eBay fees. However, in a PSA 10, it sells for $170. A nice 4x of your money. It has a 38.8% gem rate. So this is another very nice buy that you can go after. Let's see here. Remove. All right. I believe that we are on the home stretch here now, but there are quite a few 2020 cards. So next up, hope you guys are enjoying this content. And I hope that you guys are all going to go out and make yourself some money off of this. All right, next card up is the 2020 Optic Choice Anthony Edwards. You're going to see a lot of Anthony Edwards in 2020. I think even though he spiked last year and a lot of guys made their money, he hasn't come down and dipped that far, kind of hit a new level. I think his cards have room to go back up again this year, especially if Minnesota makes another run, especially if they win the Olympics and he does something special in the Olympics. I am still a fan of Anthony Edwards and his cards and his prices at this point. So most recent sales, $78.50. 1-year average, $76.63. So let's call that $79, $20. Let's round up. It'll be $99. Let's call it $100. Here's a card at $100. A PSA 9 is $145. So you're going to turn a small profit on a PSA 9, 38% chance. A PSA 10 is $236. So you're going to 2x your money, 42% gem rate. This is a very nice play on an Anthony Edwards that should help you make some money. So I like a lot of these Anthony Edwards plays. Matter of fact, most of the 2020s are Anthony Edwards, spoiler alert. All right, let's go and look at another card. The next one up is again going to be Anthony Edwards. This is his this is his purple optic. All right, so you've got purple optic, $40, most recent sale. 1-year average is $35.57. $40 plus 20 is $60. The PSA 9 sells for $70. So it is essentially almost a wash after eBay fees on a PSA 9, 54% chance. A PSA 10 is $172. So a nice 3x of your money, 2.5 to 3x of your money. $172, and it's a 30% chance of a gem rate. So Anthony Edwards cards are very easy to find. I know there's more and more people hanging on to him with the year that he had, but they're so mass produced that going out and finding 2020 product in raw condition is still very, very easy. And you should be able to find some very, very nice raw condition 2020 cards with no issues at all, especially at shows and at card shops. But I buy a lot of 2020 stuff off eBay yet, and I haven't had any issues with that either. Gem rates are pretty high if you watch who you buy from. Next card up, 2020 Select Concourse Silver Prism, card number 61. Again, Anthony Edwards. Current sale, $36. 1 year average is $22, $21.88. So 36 plus 20 is $56. The most recent PSA 9 sale was $60. So again, out eBay fees if it gets a PSA 9. However, a PSA 10 is $210. So a very nice way to 3 to 4x your money. 37% gem rate if it gets a PSA 10. And who wouldn't want a silver prism Anthony Edwards? I know Concourse isn't the most desirable, but it is a very affordable silver for people that are just getting started in the hobby and don't have the money to go pay, the $1,000 for a prism silver. So they go to that Select silver that is very common for people to do. All right, next card up is $2020 Anthony Edwards Prism. This is the pink ice prism. So you have a $110 raw most recent sale. 1 year average is 108, so it's right on average. $110 plus 20 is $130. PSA 9 is $157. So you're gonna break even after eBay fees on a PSA 9 at a 52% gem rate. However, it has a 40.6% gem rate for a PSA 10 and $635. How is a nice 6x your money? Thank you very much. Give me some of that. I have just purchased a pink ice Ant-Man. It is not to me yet. I did buy it online. I will let everybody know how it goes. But I am going after that. I really like the floor and the ceiling on that card. With a 325 pop count PSA 10, it's low enough yet. A few more aren't going to change the dollars. So I really, really, really like that play. All right, next card up should be another Anthony Edwards. This should be the red, white, and blue. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, red, white, and blue cards sell very well during the Olympics for players that are in the Olympics, and Anthony Edwards is. The most recent sale was $75.50. The 1 year average is $58.81. $76 plus 20 is $96. Even if you round up to 100, a PSA 9 sells for 109. So you are going to essentially break even on a PSA 9. You might be out $5 or $10. PSA 10 is $296 with a 30% gem rate. So you can triple your money on a PSA 10 and it has a 30% gem rate. All right, next card up is, no surprise, another Anthony Edwards card. For those of you that don't like Anthony Edwards, you are not going to like the end of the show because this is a lot of Anthony Edwards. But I wanted to show you that there are a lot of different Anthony Edwards. Not that everybody has to fight over the same card. There's a lot of parallels and a lot of cards of Anthony Edwards that you can make money on. So just keep your eye out for Anthony Edwards. And if it's a nice, clean card, you probably can nab it, grade it, and make money on it. All right, next up is the Purple Wave Prism card 258. Most recent sale $137. 1 year average is 140. So 140 and 20 is $160. 160 bucks. A PSA 9 sells for 193. After eBay fees, you are breaking even on that card. 61% chance on a PSA 9. A PSA 10, 20% chance, $700 card. So you can 6x your money at a 20% clip with breaking even on a PSA 9. This is another card that I absolutely love this play. I am also going out and actively looking for a Purple Wave Anthony Edwards. I think that the floor to ceiling on that is just too good to pass up. Got to give that a try. And I would recommend that if you guys can find a nice one, that you do the same. All right, here we are. I believe we're on the home stretch with should be 5 or 6 cards left. 2020 Prism 258, again, Anthony Edwards. This is the base Prism, but this is the photo variation card. A little bit more rare, quite a bit more rare than the standard Prism base. $30 most recent sale. 1 year average is $35.90. So 36 bucks plus 20 is $56. When you look at a $56 total all in, PSA 9 is $79. So you're going to profit about 10 bucks on a PSA 9, 53% chance. A PSA 10 is $279. So a nice 5xing of your money. And there's a 7% gem rate. So this is another card that I absolutely love the play on. The floor to ceiling on some of these plays is absolutely phenomenal. This is the way that you build your bankroll and take very little risk and really double, triple, quadruple your bankroll in a short period of time. These are some of the plays that you can do it with. Next card up is the 2020 Select Premier Level Silver card number 169. Shocker alert, Anthony Edwards. Last sale, $26. 1 year average, $24.30. So $26 plus 20 is $46. A PSA 9 sells for $65. So again, you are profiting on a PSA 9 at 42%. A PSA 10 jumps all the way up to $210. So again, you're going to 5x your 4 to 5x your money. $210 with a 42.9, so 43% gem rate on a card. Another card that I absolutely love. When you can take a 9 and turn a profit, a small profit, but a profit, and take a 10 and 3 to 5x your money, those are the plays that you should be focusing on if you really want to build that bankroll quick. All right. Next up is we are going to go to LeBron James. LeBron James stained glass SSP card number 1. It's a mosaic card. The most recent sale was $75 for this card. The 1 year average is 135. So it's, as you can see, there's a huge dip in the last sale. It dropped off a cliff, but the 1 year average was 135. So that's what we're going to use. 135 plus 20 is 155. A PSA 9 sells for 173. So after fees, you are going to break even on a PSA 9. But this card has a 59.5% gem rate. The PSA 10s sell for $284. So you're going to double your money at a 59% clip on a stained glass LeBron. I think there's going to be a ton of talk about LeBron this year. Even if Bronny James ends up in the G League, which he most likely will because he's not that good. Just the fact that he is there with LeBron, I think that at some point they will bring him up as a token gesture just so they can put him on the court together with his dad. Maybe they do it in the preseason, but that is going to be a very special moment, and one that I want to see and witness. It may never be done again to where a father and son play in the NBA, let alone a guy that is the all-time leading scorer with his son. I've never been a huge LeBron fan, but I do collect a lot of his cards because I do think that there's money to be made on him, and he is one of the best players ever, and it's a great story. So another LeBron James card, 2020 Prism card number 1. This is the red, white, and blue. This is his famous. It's a horizontal card. He's flying through the air. This is an iconic card. I could have put 4 or 5 different parallels of this card. I picked the 2. The next card is going to be of this 2. I picked the 2 with the best chance for investments purposes. So $35, most recent sale $40, 1 year average. So $40 plus 20 is 60. PSA 9 sells for 76, so you're going to break even on a PSA 9, 59% chance. A PSA 10 is $206, so you're going to essentially almost a little better than 3x your money on a PSA 9 or PSA 10. It's a 23% chance of getting an iconic LeBron James card and a nice 3xing of your money. The next card is the same exact card in a different parallel. We're going to stick with the LeBron theme. This will be the 3rd LeBron card in a row. And then we're going to finish up with a LaMelo Ball card. So here we go. The Ruby Wave Prism number 1, 2020 Prism number 1, LeBron James. The Ruby Wave. I was torn between the silver and the Ruby Wave. The Ruby Wave, I think, has a better floor and ceiling, so I picked this card. The 1 year average is $72, so 72 and 20 is $92. The PSA 9 sells for $130, so you're going to pick up $20 to $25 on a PSA 9. 60